All right, first one comes from Charity Brecky on Facebook. My 11-year-old twin nephews have been abandoned by their parents since they were babies. Their dad is my brother. I take care of them remotely through my cousin, whom they live with. Is there a way I can petition for them?
Yeah, if they're in another country, you would do an orphan petition. So if they've been abandoned, you have to have the parents stripped of their parental rights. How you would do that is the cousin who they're living with would go in and become their legal guardian without consent of the parents. And then at the same time, do what's called a pre-adoption in the United States of America. You would have to hire a social worker to come to your home, make sure you have a nice, clean home. You're not sexual predators. These children have a nice place to live. You then submit proof to a local state judge that you've had the social worker evaluations, and you ask a judge, here's all my documents. Will you sign an adoption when these children come to America? And the judge will give you what's called a pre-adoption. With that pre-adoption and stripping of the parental rights in that home country, because now this child is an orphan because they have no parents. Their parents have been stripped of parental rights because your cousin went in for guardianship. You have a pre-adoption in America. You can now file an orphan petition because you have a judge who will sign an adoption, and you have orphan children, and you bring the orphan children with green cards to America and complete the adoption here in America. So there is a process. It takes about a year.
Lisa Flammable Hearts Kelsey on Facebook. Can my job file for me? I've been working with them for more than 5 years.
Yes, but if you are out of status, the only way that you will ultimately be able to get a green card is if you're entitled to a provisional waiver or a 245I. So before your job sponsors you, you got to think through towards the end. Okay, I did a job sponsorship. I'm all approved. Where am I going to get my green card? Can I adjust my status here in America? If I'm out of status, then you need 245I in order to adjust. Or can I go home without a 10-year bar? But if you go home, the only way to go home without a 10-year bar is to be eligible for a provisional waiver. So all of this has to be thought of in advance before you start a job sponsorship. So in certain circumstances, yes. In other circumstances, no.
Okay, Millie Job on YouTube. My father became a U.S. citizen in 1984, and my brother was 17 years old at the time. My question is my brother automatically a U.S. citizen?
Not necessarily, because this is 1984. So the citizenship laws changed in October of 2000. So when you're dealing with acquisition of citizenship by a minor through a parent, and when this child was turned 18 prior to October 2000, you're dealing with different laws than today. Today, yes. Back then, we would need to know more information. There would be 4 ways in which your brother at age 17 would be a citizen through a parent. One is both parents were citizens before he was 18. 2 is mom's a citizen. Mom was never married to dad. Nobody knows who dad is. 3, mom or dad got a divorce and you are living in the legal custody of the parent who is a citizen. Or 4, mom is dead or dad is dead and you live in the physical and legal custody of that other parent. So in this particular case, the only way this 17-year-old kid is a U.S. citizen prior to his 18th birthday through acquiring it automatically through the father is 1, if mom and dad were divorced and the 17-year-old lived with the dad, or 2, the 17-year-old lived with the dad and mom died before he was 18.
Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.